Young Thug's Punk.
Jeez.
It is 20 songs, an hour and 3 minutes long, and Young Thug, Young Thug, Young Thug. He has been, around at it for a minute.
Yeah.
One of his most popular, like, sort of mixtapes, Beautiful Thugger Girls, came out in 2017, and that kind of like really showed people, okay, this is a rapper, but this is also someone with a lot of, musical cachet who's trying to experiment and do a lot of things. Not all of it's landing all the time, but he's really pushing things forward. Since then, you've gotten albums like So Much Fun, Slimy Season, and where you're sort of like, okay, Young Thug's
And never
project,
forget Slime Language 2, baby.
of
Slime Language
course,
2.
of course, that we reviewed recently, this year,
Yep.
and it was the interesting thing with these projects is that I have very rarely found myself liking a particular Young Thug project all the way through. Our So Much Fun review in 2019 or 2018, yeah, it was 2019. I'm pretty sure we were pretty harsh on the album. There are only a couple
Yeah.
songs I liked going into it, and over time there are a few songs I was able to go back to and enjoy more,
And yeah,
but still through the album and a deluxe version of the album too, it wasn't something that I felt had a lot of replay value. It wasn't something that I felt showed the best of Young Thug. Where I think Young Thug came off best is his features. I think that's where you could really feel Young Thug as an artist sort of sing and prosper on other artists' records, like
for sure.
Aminé with Compensating, in another different trap and B context. Like he's
Or,
just
or
killing it.
even like on my least favorite, most favorite song, "That You're Way Too Sexy," on Drake's album.
Yeah, like he's and akin to Drake. He's doing like okay, you can rap, he can sing, he can have this real like stage
Hmm.
presence. He can have this like lyrical depth while also simultaneously saying lyrics that make no sense whatsoever. That's just more for the rhythm. Um, but like no, Young Thug is trying to establish himself as like the next kind of do it all rap kind of, but also pop superstar. And I think Punk is his most ambitious project yet, and more or less nails a lot of it.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings of the record. I think the beginning starts really slow, and it was interesting. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit with the production, even like the track with Metro Boomin, the third track, "Stupid Asking." Um, how long they take to develop and stuff was it surprised me with that how the production was. Some of the features I thought were pretty good. Stressed, which J. Cole and T-Shyne were was pretty good. I like J. Cole's part in it. It picks up the song, picks up kind of the album and stuff. J. Cole, I think, is having a pretty good year this year. This album I do enjoy a lot. Even though we ripped him a new one a few years ago, but and also he did quit a basketball team, but more on that towards the award show later this year. Be sure to be on the lookout for that. Gunna is still horrible on Recognize Real. Like Gunna is just awful. Probably one of my least favorite rappers by far.
He's on here three
Um,
times though, so
yeah. And all those three songs I don't really like. um, but there's some tracks in here I thought were decent. Like I like Peeping Out the Window with Beastime and Future, surprisingly, because I'm not a big Future fan at all. But I thought the way he did the trap and B style with it, I thought worked with the way Young Thug's voice works and everything. My biggest pet peeve of Young Thug is he has the Playboy Cardi voice. It could get really high pitched and annoying at times, and you get that towards the beginning of the album for sure. But throughout, it gets a little bit better, and you have some tracks that are definitely worth listening to a couple of times and putting out in different mixes and stuff. You could definitely have it there.
what you'll definitely realize from this album is that it doesn't sound like any trap album released this year. Like just flat
No,
out.
no,
Like
it's definitely different
yeah, and
in
so
that.
like this is the podcast where we're cheering on different shit. This is the podcast where we're going to be cheering on artists who are very boldly, because this is something that's very rare. I think someone at Young Thug's like game. It's not like this isn't totally telegraphed. I knew that he would like people knew he'd be going to be making some record like this. We knew Punk would kind of be this attempt, but um, for me, that for it to come out so replacing a lot of the 808s with acoustic guitars and replacing a lot of the synthy aspects and things with more rock and alternative, almost indie motifs, but also still being comfortable within trap as a genre. I mean, this is stuff that I feel like I was begging for. Not exactly, right? Like this isn't perfect, right? But this is the kind of experimentation in trap music that I was begging for when Audioface started, like in 2017, when everything was repetitive as shit. And it took
Yep.
4 years for a mainstream artist to do it. But like, it's a little bit of a watershed moment that is actually being done with Future and with the late Juice World and ASAP Rocky and like Travis Scott and Drake all on here. And it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
actually a
And it's
thing that I
doing that.
can actually take seriously that also has mainstream appeal.
Well, like if you look at the song "Contagious," I really like that track. The one, fifth track right after "Recognize the Real" with Gunna. I thought like that track really got me into the album of wow, Thugger is really trying to do something different here. He's because compared to Slime Language 2, which was awful, really didn't like Slime Language 2 that much. It's nice to hear him branch out, experiment, do something different, and like "Contagious" is a fantastic track. Like it I love the drums, like the way the beat goes and everything. You have this really industrial sound in the back that you get to hear a lot of punk and different rock bands and stuff. And I thought it's good. Even like the tracks with artists I normally don't like. Yeah, "Bubbly" with Drake and Travis Scott, I thought was actually a pretty good track. That's one of the more trappy-ish songs, but it still sounds pretty good. But that's towards later down the line. Jump
Yeah.
over the head.
In the middle where you have rich nigga shit with Juice World, you've yeah yeah yeah
21,
just solo with Young
21
Thug.
had a song called the same title, right? Share with Metro Boomin on.
Yeah, and there's R&P with Corday and Anderson .Paak as well. So you know
Oh, that's right.
this is a constant motif in rap music. Oh, rappers talking about their wealth, interesting. So it's just right. It feels like you
More
almost
on that later.
right. It almost feels like you have to punch in your card with one of those. But it's I I feel like there critiques coming. The first half of the record, I definitely agree. It starts off very slow, and because you, as I think anyone as a regular fan of trap, or just someone who would expect Young Thug, like this album's not like very much like only like a particular music critic, and I think even most music critics can be not surprised by like this album intro. It's going to be very shocking to a lot of people, right?
For
And so I
sure.
think the entire sound of the album is something that people will get used to and ultimately enjoy, and will appreciate Young Thug for like pushing some boundaries here. But I feel like it isn't until song 6, 7, 8 where the album starts to really hit its stride with mixing this sort of acoustic trap sound that's trying to happen while keeping up the tempo and the pace we usually expect from a trap album. Because normally trap albums are top heavy and all the bangers are at the top. And so it's good that you're not doing that same thing. However, trap fans are going to expect something like that. And so you're going to throw them a little bit of a bone. Like songs 2, 3, 4 should have sounded a little bit more like songs 11, 12, 13, if you know what I mean, right? So this could just be like
Mhm.
an ordering difference.
100%. Yeah, you could have ordered it differently to make it flow a bit better. Like I wish it started off a little bit more like teasing us with the more of the experimentation stuff, so that way you get sucked into it because it takes a while to get into the record. Like starting off with Die Slow with Strick, like it really takes you a while to get into it. And then even with Stressed with J. Cole and t-shyne, that first half of the song is still really slow. It isn't until J. Cole's part where it picks up, and then you finally get sucked into the album, 7.5 minutes in or so. And with how long the record is and whatnot, it starts you off on the wrong foot. Also with the Metro Boomin track of Stupid Asking, that track is 5.5 minutes long, and it's also slower as well. So the first three tracks are pretty slow, and it takes a while for you to get through that. So that's 12, 13 minutes long of you just sitting through three tracks to then get you into Recognize Real and Contagious, when you really get to start to slowly get unraveled of what this album is like.
Yeah.
But more on the critique.
I just will say on Stupid Asking, it's one of those like double songs that's done really well. Like we were just talking about like
Oh yeah,
Baby Keem, like you can't keep doing like this stitch two trap songs together and make it work. This is the opposite. This is like these are one song blends really nicely into another, and it's like a real double, like this is like a Kid Cudi kind of double song here. It's true art. I will say that.
yeah. No, I like it. I mean, Anything Metro touches turns into gold at some point. I swear. But like more of the critique when you get down to living it up with A$AP Rocky and Post Malone. I don't like the way it starts with Post Malone's production. Like it sounds too much like a Post Malone track. And you have my favorite thing of a slow acoustic guitar with snap clap. So you know I already automatically love that song with the burning passion. Anyway, it's just overdone. It's something where I just Post Malone really is running out of ideas, and you can hear it because even on his features, it's anytime he does it, it's really hard for him to conform to the sound of whatever artist he's working with. It stands out too much as like, oh, this is a Post Malone track. So it's something I think that kind of in the middle of the album almost derails it, but then you have Yeah Yeah right after that, and that gets the album back to where like you can get that nice trap and B sound. You can get a little bit more experimentation stuff right after. So, but overall, I think it's a pretty good record. Towards the end, you have Filthy Day Deed, you have Icy Hot with Nota Alt-Right leaning Doja Cat, and then the last track,
Why are you
Day
just the
Before.
biased media, Sean, trying to drag Doja Cat's name into the mud?
I will drag her damn name to the ground. I don't give a fuck. This is our podcast. You know, I will double down, triple down. I've done it before.
Oh my god! Really fast before you continue, I just want to go back to Post Malone because he's not done with the smoke yet. The post chorus lyric. Now you see we going dumb, dumb, dumb. Yeah, one's too many, 100 isn't enough. Yeah, 100 just isn't enough. So if you're at a point where one is too many, but 100 isn't enough, the lyric would almost make sense if you flipped it around. Like one isn't enough, 100 is too many, right? You could still make the same exact point, but not flip it around. Like I've lost sleep over how dumb this lyric is, dude. You don't understand. Like Post Malone needs one of those Lord breaks, like just in New Zealand with a piano or the Steinbeck somewhere on a beach. It's just like go somewhere in a corner, come back in 3 years, let's see what you got then, buddy.
It's I could see that. Next thing you know, he's gonna get a random producer and he's gonna make like the worst album of the year in like 5 years from now, which I'm down. I'm down.
Post Malone and Jack Antonoff take the wheel.
Oh Jesus Christ, Lord help me. I'm kind of down. I'd actually be interested to see what the hell that ends up being like.
I will say, posthumous features for the win. So yeah, I was saying that Rich Nigga Shit with Juice WRLD was very, very good. Juice WRLD just what a damn shame. Managers, watch the drugs your people are taking, for Christ's sake. Same with Mac Miller, honestly.
To say literally same with Mac Miller, man, because it's a damn good ending track.
Yeah,
and
some of the criticisms I have with it are just like, okay, well, one of the artists just wasn't alive to see this track get made and finished. So like, our critique with posthumous album stands where like it would still be a little bit better with the artist just like more naturally being on it. It would be timed better. It would feel a lot more natural. It always is gonna feel a little bit off, not even just like knowing about the passing, but just it doesn't sound necessarily right, like fully mixed properly.
Yeah.
But overall, Punk is far from perfect. I'm not gonna say that. There's some like 5 out of 5 star reviews, like rap album of the year. I'm gonna have to marinate. I'm gonna have to let it sit, but I
don't know if it'd be rap album of the year for me, but
I can definitely say this is gonna get my like one of my top nominations for the Doing Something Fucking Different award because
100%.
This album should have
Coldplay.
Yeah, this album should have failed a lot more than it did, but it lands on its feet a lot more than it did. And this is like a AAA rap entertainers album with like nonstop major features from an artist who's like not even fully peaked in his game yet, and he's this experimental and this willing to try things differently. Like homie's going out like on on sets and things, like doing shows in a skirt, but also like one of the early lyrics is you knew I wasn't gay when I was a kid because like I was getting nudes sent to my mom's phone when I was 8 or whatever. Which a lyric in its own context is a little weird, but like what I'm trying to say is Young Thug is doing his own thing more or less, and he's really comfortable with that sound, and he's confidently doing it. He's not listening to like haters and bullshit about it, and it more or less ends up all right as an album. So I'm very, very
as long as he never makes a 2 Chainz lyric of old enough to be your daddy, young enough to fuck your mama, or whatever god awful track that was. Please never do that again, ever.
That
Whoever,
that
anybody.
that goes hard. We will not take slander. That's
Oh no, no, it does. It's hilarious. It just every time I hear that track, I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable.
um arbitrary scale. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because what we said in the review is what we said in the review. God damn it! And so that's all we feel. This week it's gonna be Senator of West Virginia, Joe Manchin, the coal baron himself. His top contributors and
Take me
donors.
home, country roads. This is a solid Comcast Corp, baby.
Comcast Corporation.
Comcast or Comcast. Dan's had too many run-ins with the Comcast Corporation, so beautiful. Build
Yeah,
beautiful, build big.
they're trying to win me back by advertising internet speeds that literally are not available in my area because Comcast is not available in my area. So, keep going, NBC. Love it. I'm gonna give this Berkshire Hathaway.
I was thinking about a Berkshire Hathaway,
They've
but
got their hands in everything. So a little bit here, a little bit there. Berkshire's, they're Berkshire. They
Berkshire,
got
yeah,
you.
exactly.
You're gonna see some like molten lava flowing on a new island somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, and then like there's gonna be a little hut that says Berkshire Hathaway
Right.
on that shit.